Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Crazy What If for 666 here. What's up, my crazy demons? How you been? So, sorry I've been posting. I've been working on the story for long enough. I think it's time. I think it's perfection. But let's let's like Cobblepot once said, let's do this. Okay, I've been watching a lot of gaming What If for gaming channels, so I just had to do that. Sorry, I had to get that out of my system. Okay, now let's get down to business. Okay, so the only sins that are not going to be reincarnated are Merlin, because she's going to be the one that gives us, because she's immortal and she has an immortal spell on her, and Gother. Gother cannot be killed because she's a doll. I think her race doesn't involve death, though I think she's immortal basically because of her race. So, no, the only sins are not going to be incarnated. So, Bon, because he loses his immortality because he gives it to Elaine. Meliodas, Diane, King, and Exenor are going to be reincarnated. So, Crazy What If for, and Elizabeth too. Oh, forgot about Elizabeth. Elizabeth too is also going to be reincarnated because you can't have Meliodas without Elizabeth. So, Elizabeth is also, since I don't want to rename any of the characters, Elizabeth is going to be born. And we're going to bring in a new character for the Pride. His name is going to be Zuko. Zuko Kane, and Elizabeth's last name is also Kane. They're brother. She's brothers with. She's brothers with. Brothers with. Zuko Kane. So, Zuko Kane is going to be awakening a lot earlier than any other sins because Exenor, it has such a complex power that it will take a lot more mastery to learn. Because the reason that Exenor learned it that fast, he technically doesn't really have much control of his power. To be honest with you, in my opinion, he doesn't really have that much control of his power. A little of his power that he flexes, if he flexes a little bit, he makes a sun, like a little sun in his hand. That's how powerful Exenor is. And he can stand up to Meliodas for 1 minute, because when he's at high noon, that's when he's at his strongest. So, how am I going to do this? So, here's what I'm going to do. So, sorry, I had to do. So, Deku is going to be the reincarnation of Meliodas. If you want to find out who the other reincarnations are, find out later when the story goes on, when I decide to awaken them. Because the sins will, here's how the sins will control. Here's how the sins will do. The sins are in the spirit world, watching over the reincarnations. They decide when their powers, like right now, Deku's powers are off, and they decide when they turn on. Like they decide when they are active, like my light switch. Like they flip the switch on their powers. So Exenor flips the switch when Zuko flips the. Exenor flips the switch on Zuko's powers when he's 4, because he wants. Because his power, like I said, his power is so complex that. And he defends Midoriya for a year and gets him on the path to become, so gets him on that path so Meliodas will awaken his powers. So that's why, and that's another reason why he awakened his powers early, because Meliodas told Exenor to do so he can set his reincarnation on the path so he can do it. Because I say his demon form takes enough, like, is a strain on his body. Needs a strong body. Like, that's what I'm going to do. Like, his demon form will take a big strain on Izuku's body, because it would be like his demon modes will be a kind of a strain on Izuku's body, so he needs a fit body. So he said he'll be encouraging Izuku, like on his phone calls, like they'll still be in touch, like they'll still be good friends. Like the 2 years they may be good friends, and Elizabeth and Izuku's Elizabeth will go into like a little friendship too. So but they'll still be, but Zuko and Elizabeth Kane will move away when Deku's 6. Now we skip to where Deku's the start of the anime. The day of the start of the anime, the early day of the start of the anime, not the start of the anime, but the day of the anime, of starting of the anime. That's when Meliodas turns on gives him his powers, like the beginning set, like this set, like super strength, super speed. Every sin will get this starting set, like super strength, super speed, super durability increase, like especially with Midoriya, and a little and he'll give like that beginning sword, you know what sword I got, like that handle that I gave him in the beginning, he'll also give him that. So you know the green handle that he wears in season 1, he'll give him that little sword, that little handle. He'll carry around he said, and he'll teach him like his first lesson on full counter in his sleep. So Meliodas, so he doesn't know full counter yet. He'll learn it in 10 months. So he learns in 10 months. He's also looking for the sins, and he also gets the same mark. Like when he awakens, like Izuku still looks the same height and everything, but when his powers awaken, on his shoulder, it's a tattoo of like that dragon that Meliodas has, and on Zuko's back, it's the lion sin. So Elizabeth, like I said, Zuko. So all Zuko has is Exonor's powers, but Elizabeth has her goddess powers plus a minor super strength quirk. It's just a minor one because of the parents of like Mrs. and Mr. Kane. Like their Earth parents have a super strength quirk. That both of them have a super strength quirk, but Izumi was supposed to be born quirkless, but Zuko was supposed to be born quirkless, I think it was. So Zuko Kane was supposed to be born quirkless, but his quirk turned on because they were supposed to be born quirkless, but Exonor's powers is his quirk. That's what they label him as. So he phones up. So the Sludge don't have. Midoriya takes care of it, but All Might still gets credit. He still happened because Deku is still somewhat insecure about being a hero, but he's not. He's a little bit more confident. He's not that spinely wimpy nerd like the spinely wimp. He's got confident. I'll be the first quirkless superhero. I'll be the first like my quirk awakened. I finally can be a hero. Like he's confident now. Like he's going with confidence. Like he said, I can do this. I have trained my whole life to become a hero. I'll prove Bakugo wrong. I'll prove everyone that doubted me wrong. Like, he's confident in himself. He has self-confidence that his blade skills will get him far into the hero. But little does he know. So Deku keeps training and learning full Cowling over the 10 months in his dream, in the spirit, in his mind world, but he applies it into the spirit world. Like in the physical world, he learns full Cowling. But in the like in mind world, he's learning full Cowling, learning how to do it, and he's applying it in the real world. So he's asking people to throw like. So Bakugo is still Bakugo's still that arrogant son of a bitch that he is. I don't like that, but I try to, but he's still that arrogant fool that he is. Someone punch him, please. I'll get to him. I'll get time. I'll have fun with him in a bit. So calm yourself, Michael. Now get back on the story. So Bakugo is being Bakugo will be Bakugo and try to blow up his notebook, but Midoriya just snatches it because real fast, like he's shocking himself when he does that. So that's just another like he has quicker reflexes, so he'll just snatch it before Bakugo's in him. That's just another thing. So he carries around a wooden sword at all times, but that's one of his habits. And when he awakens his power, he gets a handle that he kept at his house for the day. So he starts carrying around the handle because Meliodas told him to. Starts telling him in a dream world. So he carries that to the entrance exam. He says, like, you should not be carrying a weapon. And he just shows it's not a weapon, it's a handle, two-way weapon. It's just for show, like to intimidate people on the streets. Because let's just say, and it helped to support, and he reports out a support item to his quirk. So he does the paperwork to add a support item so he can add during the physical, but that's about it. So I'll say Zuko gets the most villain points. That's all he gets because he's focusing on, and Elizabeth gets a good amount to get in. And Uraka and Ida do a little bit better. Sorry. Uraka and Ida do a little bit better in the anime. And Momo's still recommended, but she knows who the sins are. She knows who the sins are, so, because, let's get to Momo's perspective. Like it says, that's the captain, and she's watching just say she's watching the test with the teacher. Miss Merlin. Let's say Merlin's a teacher there, but she's wearing a more school-appropriate outfit because it's school regulated. Not to wear like a more regulated outfit, so to watch the entrance exam. So she wears normal clothes to watch the entrance exam, so she can see the sins. Make sure she's making sure the sins get into class 1A. So, I'm just going to tell you the sins, who they are. Diana's reincarnation is Uraka. King's reincarnation is Ida. The reason that's, and we all know Exenor's, Meliodas, Exenor, Diane, King, Exenor. That's it. So, well, So now we skip to the now. Do we? Okay, like I said, Zuko Kane got more villain points. He's definitely got more villain points than Meliodas at this point because I'll say Zuko is base Meliodas at the beginning. Like he's just not even he's base Meliodas level. Like he's just base. He doesn't have Demon Mark. He doesn't have that. He's just base Meliodas. Stronger than All Might, I think, but like as strong as All Might. He's strong as All Might in his prime. But Exenor, yeah, we're not going to get into that business. We are not. They are like in the high hundreds. Like they're close. Like he's a close behind the. Like it's not. It's like he's Exenor's ahead, but not that far ahead. Like I say he has his beginning power level. Like at the beginning of the 10-month, like the beginning of the series. I'll give him that. I'll give him like his beginning of the series power. Meliodas at the beginning of the series. Yeah, Meliodas at the beginning of 7 Minutes Sins is his power level. Not too high, not too low. Okay. So, if you have a problem with that, put it down in the comments and I may buff him or nerf him. So, Zuko seemed to be in second place, but wait. Uraraka still gets trapped underneath the rubble. Uraraka still panics and forgets how to use her quirk, like in canon. I think that's why and Izuku uses his super strength and cuts the thing in half. I believe he can do that. Yeah, I think he can do that. So, he cuts it in half and saves Uraraka, carrier bride style, but don't worry, it's not going to be don't worry, they're just going to be... This is when Diane awakens her powers, but Uraraka doesn't know this. Like, she's going to start training in the mindscape, and she's going to apply it in her hero training. But Uraraka doesn't know that her powers have awakened. So her quirk is still anti-gravity, so she can now grow into giant height, so she can wield her sacred treasure, but that's about it. Though she her anti-gravity and magic will be affecting when she wants to use her magic, she has to grow in giant size. But when she wants to use her quirk, she has to be her small size. So she'll have clothes that shrink and grow with her. When she's Merlin is always watching in the shadows. So she's not introducing herself, but she's also watching in the shadows. So she smiles, like she awakens to Uraraka's. Merlin is the one that decides to awaken. She awakens Zuko's early because she senses because she wanted to find. She was there at the hospital when all the Sins were born. They were all born at once. She takes in an apprentice also to keep a class on the recommendation. She has an apprentice. Momo is her apprentice. Basically, she just as efficient as magic as she has in her own quirk. She's very efficient in magic. She's a lot more confident. And so we skip to the first day of middle school. The first day of middle school is where the first day of middle school, the first day of UA. The first day of UA. Deku's a little bit early. I'd say Deku's a little bit earlier, and he senses magical presence. Meliodas says the Sins are going to be here in my class. He sent all 5 Sins that are reincarnated are going to be in my class. I need to find Merlin to get the secret treasure. Maybe she'll pop up in my journey to become a hero. Yeah, she's got to pop up. Hopefully, here goes nothing. Then he opens the door and finds out that, and he walks to Kane. He says, Zuki Kane, how are you, old friend? He says, Izuku Midoriya. And he says, Izuku. And then Elizabeth Kane says Izuku. And she kind of blushes because she realized how cute Izuku was. But that's just me being me. And because she kind of had a little child, her friendship became like a crush over time, over the calls, that kind of developed into a crush. Elizabeth's feelings have developed in like a crush. So imagine when Uraka's feelings for Uraka, how she acts in front of Deku, blushing every time she sees her, every time that she sees him, and how she acts like in front of Deku, in front of Midoriya. The reason that they call him Midoriya instead of Deku because they know about the history between Bakugo and, so we call him Midoriya or Izuku. And I'll say their heel names will be their Sis name, like, but anti-gravity. But I'll just get back. I'll tell them what their Sin's name is, but I'll tell you what their heel name when I get to it. But when we get to the internship arc, but that's about it. So here's what happens. I'll say this is early, like late in the afternoon, when Exenor is growing weaker. So I'll say Exenor has grown weaker to. Exenor gets first place. I mean, Zuko gets first place, but it's not that far from Meliodas. Not that, like, Meliodas, Deku has a long way to go to catch up with him, but he's outclassing. Like, the only place that he outbeat him is, it says, Zuko, can you help me on one thing? Can you help me out? He says, use your quirk. Okay. If you want to see my quirk, my full power, my quirk, can I have someone throw it at me? He said, Aizawa wants to see this, so he says, sure. Can I pick? He says, sure. Let's see, who's strongest throwing? Oh, I know. Zuko. I pick Zuko. He says, why Zuko? I know he's the strongest. He can throw things the strongest, and I want the best score I can get. The stronger the attack that's thrown at me, the more powerful my quirk is. So what is your quirk? You'll see, Aizawa. Just let me show. Like, Aizawa's, like, Izuku got him into a quirk, like, what? I want to see this, what? He's letting it play out, like, to say, okay, Zuki. He's just trying to tease him a bit. Because that's his nickname that I give him, like, to tease him a bit. Like, back when they were kids. He says, quit calling me that, Midoriya. Okay, Zuki, don't throw this half-assed. Throw it, not with your quirk, as hard as you can. Not halfway, as hard as you can. He's basically being Cell right now. Hit me as hard, throw it at me as hard as you can. Not halfway, not the Zuzubutsu, as hard as you fucking can. And he's just holding up the sword. Don't worry, I got this. He said, okay, it's your wish, Captain. And this is first, and he just sees the mark. And this is his power. And he just bulks up a bit. And he throws it as hard as he can. And here's where Midoriya yells, full counter! and it just a sonic boom can be heard. The ball's flying, and it goes around the Earth and it goes into the atmosphere. He aims it into the atmosphere. Infinite. Like, she's like, and he's like, whoops, I guess I overdid. I guess I kinda overdid it a bit. And Zuko's like, overdid a bit? He says, my quirk is called full counter. And I just showed it off. There. Was that good enough, Aizawa? Or should I say, await your head? So, he basically, and Bakugo, let's just say, after that, Bakugo attacks him, and this is when he looks over at Eraserhead, and because Eraserhead just caught him up, he says, let him go. If he attacks me, I don't care. 1, I've been taught in self-defense class, I know how to defend myself, and 2, Bakugo, with this power, I will become number 1. I will surpass anyone that. I will find this. I will defeat the evil. And he goes to the side. And we skip to the train. This is where I want to leave it off. I just want to do that. This is where I want to leave it off. We're on 26 minutes. This is my 20 sub special, so like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Please do that. I appreciate it. Thanks for supporting me, and I'll see you guys next time. Stay crazy.